www.kaieteurnewsonline.com or the MyTuner app, Radio Garden app, and you can also join us on Facebook at Kaieteur Radio. And remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel.
This is the news on top of the hour.
Live from our studio in Georgetown.
Kaieteur Radio, 99.1 FM.
Good evening. Welcome to this evening's newscast on Kaieteur Radio. Kevin Smith here. Before we get to the news in detail, let's get to today's front page comment of the Kaieteur News. How was one foreign company given 30 fishing licenses? Mr. Ramjatan. Kemraj Ramjatan, the leader of the Alliance for Change, is incomparably barefaced. He is agitated over 2 trawler licenses. This is the same man who was so dumbstruck that he could not utter a single syllable about oil. But now he wants to go to the National Assembly over 2 trawler licenses. We encourage Mr. Ramjatan, now thunderous with outrage, to take his grouse to the National Assembly. While there, he must tell all Guyana about the 7 persons who have trawler licenses, of which 6 are Guyanese, who together with 1 foreigner hold a total of 80 plus licenses. He must tell all Guyana about the 30 licenses held by that single foreigner. About that, Mr. Ramjatan. How about that? And now that he has found his voice, how about going to the National Assembly to protest over the rights to our gold, bauxite, timber, and especially our oil? Mr. Ramjatan should inform the National Assembly about the secret deals and the APNU-AFC's stubborn refusal to renegotiate the corrupt and criminal clauses in those deals. How about that, Mr. Ramjatan? Now that silence has been broken over 2 trawler licenses, why not work up a rage over potentially hundreds of billions of US dollars lost or even given away in secret partnership with Exxon by the PPPC and the APNU-AFC? And speaking of Exxon, tell the National Assembly and the Guyanese people, Mr. Ramjatan, how the fishing catch near the Exxon oil rigs have been affected by the oil operations. Speak up and speak out, Mr. Ramjatan. And now for the news in detail. Brazilian state-owned oil company Petrobras appears to be using Guyana's petroleum regulatory system to pressure Brazil's regulators into granting environmental permits quickly. Now, S&P Global, a global business analytics and information firm, said that CEO of Petrobras, Roberto Castelo Branco, pointed to Guyana as a likely business destination for the company. Branco reportedly registered his unease that Brazil is taking too long to grant environmental permits to drill in Brazil's Foz do Amazonas basin. S&P said that the area Petrobras is eager to drill in could see similar success as ExxonMobil has found in Guyana's Stabroek Block. There, Exxon has made 18 discoveries starting in 2015 and has received government approval for 3 field developments in a very short time. In other news, the Ministry of Human Services and Social Security has installed a Poor Law Commission as part of the ministry's efforts to review the list of persons who depend on public assistance. Board members for the Poor Law Commission, which oversees public assistance for the vulnerable, will be reviewing the existing list to ensure the most in need individuals benefit from the relief program. There are currently 12,000 persons on the public assistance list. And now let's tell you the EPA has disclosed via a public notice that no environmental impact assessment is required for the construction and operation of a waste treatment facility for mud sludge generated from activities in the oil and gas sector. That proposed project is expected to be constructed by Environmental Waste Management Services Guyana at Plantation Friendship on the east bank of Essequibo. The EPA is still allowing the general public a 30-day period to lodge any objections or concerns about the project. Appeals and objections can be submitted to the Environmental Assessment Board at the EPA's Sophia, Georgetown office. And now let's tell you Captain Azam Ali, a 19-year-old who hails from the Essequibo coast, has made history for being Guyana's first locally trained and certified helicopter pilot. He was honored by the Ministry of Public Works yesterday during a ceremony which saw the Minister of Public Works himself, Mr. Juan Edgel, the Director of the Guyana Civil Aviation Authority, Egbert Field, and others in attendance. During the ceremony, Edgel stated that his accomplishment is an inspiration to all young professionals as he presented the young man with a plaque. In other news, security firms found non-compliant with Guyana's labor laws will be publicly shamed. This is according to Minister of Labor Joseph Hamilton. He said that the public shaming will include publishing the names of the security firms, their principals, their directors, and managers. The minister said that a forewarning was given to security companies last month, where he lamented the issues regarding equal pay, proper overtime, salaries, and adequate working conditions for their employees. And now let's tell you, for years, the world's largest oil trading firm has maintained that it has zero tolerance for corruption. Now Vital Inc. has admitted that it was paying bribes through a network of shell companies and sham contracts. As recently as July 2020, while publicly repeating those assurances, Vital was bribing government officials in Ecuador and Mexico. In Brazil, a Vital executive delivered cash to traders at Petróleo Brasileiro SA in exchange for the gold number, the price at which Vital should bid to win tenders from the Brazilian state oil companies. The revelation from a deferred prosecution agreement between Vital Group's U.S. unit and the Department of Justice are part of Brazil's so-called car wash bribery scandal that's described by the Petrobras chief as an MBA in corruption. In other news, contractors failing to make NIS payments on behalf of their employees should not be given the compliance needed for them to acquire contracts. This view was offered by the Minister of Labor, Joseph Hamilton. A question was posed asking why contractors who are not NIS compliant be in receipt of contracts for construction and other state contracts, including in the security arena. Further, it was asked what course of action would be taken by the Ministry of Labor. According to Minister Hamilton, the Labor Ministry has no mandate in that regard. He said that the NIS is governed under its own statutes and regulations. And now let's tell you, the Ministry of Health today reported that of the 79 newly recorded COVID-19 cases, Region 10 accounted for 26 of them. The ministry's daily dashboard update states that the COVID-19 death toll remains at 154, while 4,925 persons have recovered. And that brings us to the end of this evening's newscast. I am Kevin Smith. Thank you for listening. Do have an enjoyable and safe Thursday evening. Coming up next is a rebroadcast of the National Outlook with GHK Lal, and at exactly 19 hours 20 or 7:20 p.m. is Guyana's Oil and You with Miss Kiana Wilberg.
Want value for your advertising dollar? Then place your ads on Kaieteur Radio's newscasts. Streamed live on 6 different mediums, reaching hundreds of thousands. Advertise today and watch your dollar grow. Call us on 225-8465 or 226-8210 today.
With your news in capsule, I am.
Good day, my fellow Guyanese. GHK Lal on Kaieteur Radio 99.1 and 99.5 FM. Welcome to the National Outlook. We are leaning into the end of the work week, and I thank you for joining us. And today we go into another area. It's mainly hinterland based, where the former head of the EPA, Dr. Vincent Adams, who's now been making the rounds, has come out swinging. And he's saying that we must stop miners from causing irreparable damage to the environment. And some of you may know, for 3 years, I was the chair of the board